The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the view and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees.
Welcome back to Real Talk with DMJ, and we have Andrea Bryant back with us again. Hello, Andrea, and thank you for continuing this conversation. Thank you for being here. This is something that needs to get out about how we have housing authorities evicting individuals, and when it's on their mistake and things falling through the cracks, them not living up to their mistakes, you know.
Correct.
And then power playing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when you're working with people's lives. When I personally work with people's life, I try to be proactive and follow through, you know, because I was homeless for 5 years, you know, then got back on my feet and stuff, and then I ended up being homeless for 3 more years. And so, and still continued doing the things that I was doing, and people didn't know I was homeless because, you know, I still kept going. So I understand what it is to be homeless. So let's get back to that conversation. So you're in the hospital, the packet comes, your mom brings it to you in the hospital. There's a deadline.
Correct.
You know, a deadline. They had opened up, you did get picked. It was a deadline that came, but you're incapacitated. You just had brain surgery. Now the brain's infected. You called them? And
I
everything.
actually had my mother contact them to let them know because I couldn't even
function.
understand the paperwork at all.
Yeah, so you couldn't understand the paperwork. All you know, you got accepted. There's a deadline. You said,
Exactly.
Mom, please contact them for me. Ask for an extension on the deadline. Tell them where I am.
Exactly.
So your mother does that.
Yes.
Yes.
She was able to get the paperwork, but she couldn't do the paperwork on my behalf because it was a little too in-depth. Plus, she just took on 3 of my children.
Okay.
So it was a little difficult for her to do.
Yeah, so she couldn't comprehend the paperwork, and too bad they didn't have a case manager on site.
Exactly.
Because your case manager could have advocated for you, like I
Yeah.
do for my clients.
Yes. I got released. I had the live wires in my arms.
So this is after the deadline, you get released.
I got released the day before the deadline.
Okay.
Exactly one day. And then that's when she had told me that she wasn't able to do the paperwork. So I went into the main office.
Straight from the hospital or the next day?
The next day, where the
Okay.
deadline was.
Okay, where the deadline was. So you go into Housing Kitsap, which is in Silverdale, Washington.
Yes.
Okay.
I go in, and I'm sitting there, and do mind you, I just got released from the hospital, so I was drugged out of my mind in nice terms because I was really medicated.
Yes.
And-
Understand brain surgery.
Oh, yeah,
Like really
so,
any surgery, but brain, yes.
She went in with me, and we tried to do the paperwork as best as we could, but I could only get through one sheet, and then they had me sign documentation saying that my mom could act on my behalf.
Okay, yes, ROI.
So, yeah, so I did that, and everything was okay. She was able to take care of everything, but we didn't have everything that we needed according to what they wanted. So we had
What did they want?
They wanted stuff from Social Security that I was unable to get because it was also during the shutdown. And so the Social Security office wasn't really helpful. They wanted a Social Security card that came up missing years ago and a birth certificate that I had never been given because I wasn't born in Washington. So it wasn't easy to track down.
So they wanted your Social Security card. And then, so didn't you turn an income verification in from, because you're on disabilities, mind
Yes.
you. And mind you, they can go on, just like Department of Social and Health Services, can go into that system and see your income, if you get what's going in your bank, if you have a bank account, they can see all this.
They can.
They can. So my thing, I couldn't understand, if they could see all that, that was verification enough.
Yep.
You know, especially if you had your ID, you're on Social Security, and they had to have that for when you first got into Park Place.
Correct.
Turned that in. So that was validation, seeing you in person, from you signing back up in April or right before April, signing up, you had to turn those documents in. So I couldn't understand why couldn't they still use those documents until the updated ones, till the shutdown was lifted, so you could get in there, and then so that you can recover. You're trying to take care of all this.
Exactly.
So in other words, they just dropped you.
Yeah.
And right before April, when you signed and got in, and KCR paid your move-in costs in,
Yep.
they had all these documents.
They did, but they didn't want to accept a lot of them because they were out of date. They were too old. And
So a Social Security runs out of date, a card. Excuse me. So I'm just trying to figure this all out. So I never know that a Social Security card runs out of time.
So the Social Security card, as far as I know, doesn't actually run out of time.
It doesn't.
I
That's
just
what I'm
didn't
trying to
have it.
understand. You just didn't have, but they had a copy on file in
Yeah.
the records already.
Exactly.
And they could have used that.
Yeah.
They could have used
said-
that. They could go into the system and see and validate already how much you're getting for Social Security. So you really didn't have to fall through the cracks of being on that program. So by you being evicted and finna become homeless and everything, they failed you.
Yeah.
You know, just like when I did the answered your eviction, you notice for appearance to
And
the
it
courts.
actually got worse after that, honestly, because they actually had decided that they were going to deny me after doing that paperwork, after overdoing everything, having me run around this way and that way to try to get everything so I would be accepted. They denied me, so I had to do a...
Okay, why did they deny you to get into that
Because-
program? And it's
because I-
public housing.
Exactly.
Public housing.
Because I owe Park Place money, which
The
is
other program, the
Yeah.
30% of your income or whatever to get you in, whatever it's called. Yeah.
So the
Okay.
one program denied me.
But you're with KCR, and KCR could have covered that.
Yep. But KCR kept turning me away as well.
Okay, but
And
they
I
still...
couldn't go in there and sit for the hours on end, you know.
Well, you just had brain surgery.
Exactly.
You had brain surgery.
I was
So we won't
having-
put it all on them because you had brain surgery. You were unable to get into KCR.
Exactly.
And so that's it. Because I'm sure if you would have been able to get in, because I've talked to people about your case down there, you know, and this is why they're willing to this day to go ahead and pay your back rent and then to continue your rent until your lease is up. And your people, Park Place Housing Kitsap, they refuse to accept that. But we're moving too fast.
Yes.
And everything. Let's wait, because this is a whole big mess of, you know, and they're going out their way to me to make you homeless when there was many affixes in there.
Oh yeah, there was tons of
There
them.
was many affixes. KCR willing to pay, could have paid back then whatever you owed Park Place. They could have accepted you, you know, in the program for public housing.
Yep.
That came into play, you know. I mean, you were in there the day after released from the hospital from the brain surgery. Well, it all could have been fixed. This is why I say it is so good, and this is one thing I like about the Bremerton Housing Authority and KCR with their new programs that everybody has a case manager. Because their workers can't do it all by themselves. Jill realized that. And Anthony Ives, Thomas, they realized that. So they put in case managers, you know, to advocate and to where you fall short at the client and from what their managers, you know, can't do. Their leads, whatever you want to call them, that's in there. So it seems like Housing Kitsap, that's what they need, because I don't think none of this would have happened to you. It was too many fixes that came through to keep you housed.
Yep.
And then financially, burden would have been lifted.
Oh, yeah.
So, in other words, they denied you. Let's go back to they denied you for public housing because they're saying that you owe Park Place.
Exactly.
Okay, then, you owe Park Place. Now, that's why they denied you. So what did you do when they denied you?
So when they denied me, I had to request a meeting with them to explain.
Request a fair hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
To explain why I owed Park Place money, which was really, really worrisome for me because they work for the same
people.
They're the same people. And the guy at Park Place, Robert Wilson, knew that I was trying to get into the other one and had told me...
Into the public housing program.
Yeah,
yes.
and had told me, just keep paying what you can, which was the $100 minimum, and just keep doing what you're doing and keep me updated. So I was doing everything I was asked to do, everything I was told to do.
Did you ever go to the fair hearing?
I did. And
what was the outcome of the fair hearing?
They still denied it because I owed Park Place money.
And then, so do you know the housing authorities, they have... where if you're falling short in your rent, I know Bremerton Housing does, that the city gives them some money that can pay some of that, the funding for your rent. They never. Well, did you tell them during your hearing, well, since I'm a client of Kitsap Community Resource, you can go ahead and get the money from them to pay what you had owed to get you caught up? Was that an avenue brought up during your hearing? They didn't have nobody advocating for you, did you?
No. They had
you should have
told
had me in there. No.
I agree. They actually had told me that I could keep trying with KCR, and every time I had tried with KCR, I don't know who the lady was. I don't have a clue about her name. I don't think I ever got her name, to be honest with you. But she was very rude. She was not very nice at all. And she kept telling me that they had paid for me to get into Park Place, which they did, and they had accepted the child support letter because it's not state-issued child support. And then when I had explained to them that my child support's gone now and the situation, she basically had told me, well, we can't help you, so sorry. And then I kept going back every month, and I had even had my baby's caseworker come with me, because I needed someone there with me to help manage him while I was trying to do, whatever paperwork I needed to do. So
your baby's caseworker is an employee of Kitsap Community Resource.
Yes.
So that case manager was trying to help you because she was supporting you and advocating for you with Housing Kitsap.
Yeah. But the only thing is she works for early childhood development because that's what the baby is in right now. She doesn't work for the housing portion or have really anything to do with that portion of it because she's early childhood. So she was coming on my behalf, and it was
support,
exactly
supporting you,
and it was out of her range of what she could and couldn't do.
Yeah, okay, it was out of her range, so we're not going to blame her.
Exactly,
you know what I'm saying? Because she was there for moral support. Plus, she already know that you had brain surgery.
Exactly.
You couldn't function. Your comprehension's not there, and it still ain't there all the way.
No,
because when you came into my office, I knew something was wrong.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Because I told you, you know I ain't got no sense. Honey, something's wrong. What's going on here?
Yeah,
Tell Miss Deborah.
My brain will not function properly. We're hoping it'll function again within the next 6 to 7 months, but he gave me a year plus for it to even be back functioning properly.
Okay, so now let's move on. So you got denied. You go to the fair hearing. You got denied again, knowing that we have revenue out there to help you, to assist. And I know during that time we did. And that the buying force, what KCR did. So anyway, so here comes November, here comes December. You're getting notice of eviction.
Yes.
Courts, it's in the courts now.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you find Hope 360?
I had actually found you guys years ago, but then I hadn't heard anything because I didn't really keep up to date on anything. And there was a lot of stuff going on at that time. So I actually thought the company went under.
Oh, no, we hear.
My one of my good friends that lives with me in a different apartment complex, she actually works at Dollar Tree. And I went in there to get something. I don't even know what I went in there to get, but she was there. And she asked me, she's like, so how have you been? And we chit-chatted for a little bit.
Yeah.
She loves my kids. It's amazing. She's like my street sister. So we were chit-chatting, and then I told her, well, we're probably going to have to move again because I'm facing eviction again. And then she actually had told me to look up surviving change.
Oh, she did, yes.
And I was like, okay. I hadn't heard anything about the company for a while. I looked it up, and then I had finally got in contact, and I was so happy and so excited. But then my car went under. So I was supposed to come in on a Thursday, and I couldn't make it down. So I had to rearrange to get transportation down to the office, which in a way is also a good thing because I'm not supposed to be driving anyway right now.
Yes, thank you, yes.
So yeah, it's dangerous. So I got transportation, I came down, and then that's when I had gotten that paperwork saying that it was going to be cleared for everything to be paid. I took it to Housing Kitsap.
Okay, hold up. So you came in, and that's not how it would happen. You came in, you brought in, I said, bring everything that you've gotten. And you brought everything from last year.
Yep.
You know, from the promissory letter to move in, your file is this thick.
Yep.
You brought me everything. You've been working me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, missing sleep and everything. So you brought in everything, and then it was a notice for appearance. Your eviction was with it.
Yes.
And then that's when I asked you, I said, well, girl, where you been and everything? We could have helped you with this.
I didn't know anything about it.
And then that's what you said. So I gave you the CHG form for the landlord to fill out, to accept the money, and then our contract that we have for me to case manage you. You filled out all that.
Correct.
Yes, you filled out all that. So here it is. I said, go out there. I gave you a list of things that I need from Housing Kitsap, W-9, the ledger, the lease, you know, the CHG back, all that, as I give everybody.
Yep.
So I give this back to you. You go out there, and then next minute I get a text from you. They're refusing to accept the money, and they want to go ahead and move forward with the eviction.
Exactly.
Now we're going to pay this $6,000 something odd dollars back to them what you owe. Mm-hmm. Where we're going to go ahead and continue, because I had spoke with one of the managers at KCR, and that we'll go ahead and out of her mouth, and we're on the phone with other people in the office, that they were going to go ahead and then we'll continue to pay throughout the rest of your lease.
Exactly.
And so they refuse that. So they refuse finna get the back pay money and to moving forward to get you out of this dilemma and your family.
Yep.
You know, we're all about prevention, preventing you from becoming homeless and helping you. Then I'm case manage you and get you in the right direction. You know how I am.
Oh yeah, I'm very happy that I decided to reach back out, because
and you got to be doing something, and we got to follow the plan.
Exactly.
Okay, so we get all this in place, but they're still refusing to accept the money. So then we're on a timeline. I believe it was February 3rd that you had to have the notice of appearance.
Yes, correct.
Had to be answered. So during the meantime, I'm sending out emails. You get the ROI on the document paperwork from there, so I can advocate on your behalf.
Correct.
And then so to get this out there, so I can advocate for we can all talk and communicate. So we get this, all this going, and they're still refusing. Now we did the notice of appearance. You answered for that. You signed it. We get it into the courts.
Correct.
We got it into the courts. Then I send an email back. Then we hear back from Heather. Heather notifies me in the email, which you're in the email, that you have an attorney.
No, I don't.
At Kitsap Legal. So she's informing HUD and everybody who's in the email, and the commissioners, all them, the board of trustees that's over Housing Kitsap, that let them know you have an attorney. And what you don't. What happened was you've been waiting all these months, November, December. Then you finally hear from Kitsap Legal in January. And what they tell you, we then transferred your case to Tacoma.
Yep.
And then you're still waiting on Tacoma, but during the meantime, you have 3 days to get in the answer to the notice of appearance, or they can go ahead. And so nobody's helped you.
Nope.
You know, Kitsap Legal, Northwest Justice, nobody's helped you. And the office who they referred you in Tacoma, you still haven't heard anything.
Nope.
But I just ran into another case. Kitsap Legal and Northwest Justice, what they're doing, they're referring another young lady that was with the Housing Authority, just got kicked off. She went, got the same help through Kitsap Legal, Northwest Justice. I sat with her the other day, just the other day, and it told me this. I go, I'm dealing with the same case like that. They're referring all these cases to Tacoma, and people are becoming homeless.
Yep.
And getting evicted anyway. We're going to be on this case, and I want this video to go out to Olympia, to HUD, to the commissioners, to anybody that we can help this family, Andrea Bryant and her family, to prevent them from becoming homeless. There is help out there. Can we get Housing Kitsap to accept the funds to prevent the Bryant family from becoming homeless? We have enough homeless on the streets here in Kitsap County already. Why do we want to increase? And we're all about prevention. I mean, I looked at HUD's, their mission statement. You know, they're not even following that. Thank you for being on Real Talk with DMJ.
Thank you for having me.
And everything. And we're going to pray. And we're asking for your prayers for the churches, Ken Riley, Jeff Flood, to continue praying for the Andrea Bryant family, that we can get some work done and prevent her and her family from becoming homeless. And the board, the trustee, you have all the documents I sent to you, the board, the trustee of Kitsap Housing. I'm pleading to you and to the community to help Andrea Bryant's family from becoming homeless. Once again, thank you for tuning in to Real Talk with DMJ.